VKIDS, it is so great to have you join with us today. Everything's a little bit different at the moment, isn't it? You can see that I'm actually sitting at home in my apartment, and I think that you'll be at home where you live. Maybe you're with brothers or sisters, maybe you're with your parents, or if you've got a pet, maybe you're with a dog or a cat. I'm here with Hamilton this morning. So we're all meeting up a bit differently, and in this time when things just feel a bit upside down, you're not going to school at the moment, you can't go out to play as much as you might like to, and things maybe feel a bit wobbly or different, we can remember that there's one person who stays the same through all of this, and that person is Jesus. It actually says in the Bible, in the book of Hebrews, that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, which is a really long time. So we can really trust him in this. We can know that he is always with us, whatever's happening, and that he loves us, which is really great news. And also, just because we're not meeting together on a Sunday doesn't mean that you're still not part of our VKIDS crew. You're still in our community. We're all in this together. We have got so much fun stuff planned for you over the next few weeks. So get ready. So we are going to start today with a story. Now this story is about a boy, it's about a giant, and it involves 5 pebbles. I wonder if you can guess what it is. It's in the book of 1 Samuel. If at home you want to have a look where that is, it's in the Old Testament, so have a look in your Bibles at home, and I'm going to tell you the story now. So God's people, the Israelites, had a lot of enemies, and there was a group called the Philistines who were their enemies. Now the Philistines had a secret weapon who was a ginormous giant, like imagine the tallest adult that you know, and then even taller than that, ginormous, and he was a giant named Goliath. Now, the Israelites used to stand on one side of the hill and the Philistines stood on another, and Goliath would shout down,
"Send me your strongest soldier to fight me."
And then he'd say,
"If I win, you will be my slaves. If you win, I will be your slaves."
And the Israelites were like, because Goliath was huge and they knew that they wouldn't be able to beat him. But the thing was that God had a plan, and God was going to send someone. Now, do you remember David? So David was a shepherd. He was the youngest of 8. He used to just go and work in the fields and take lunch to his brothers. And David saw how all the Israelites, all of God's people, were afraid of Goliath and the Philistines. And he thought, you know what, I've got God on my side. And he went to the king, and he said, "Don't be afraid, I will go and fight Goliath." And the king was like, "You're quite small," because he was. But the king said, "Okay," and he gave David his armor, and the armor was too heavy and it was too big, and David couldn't really walk around in it. And David was like, "You know what? I've got God on my side. I don't need your armor." And he went down to the river and he picked out 5 smooth stones. And he took his slingshot and he went to fight Goliath, the huge giant. So when Goliath saw David, he was like,
"Really? You're going to fight me? You're such a small shepherd boy. What can you do to fight me?"
And David was like, "Yeah, I may be small, but God is big and God can win battles, and I've got God on my side, and I don't need a big army. I don't need to be super strong because I've got God with me." And Goliath was like,
"Okay, we'll see."
So David took one of his smooth pebbles and he put it in his slingshot and he swung it around and he let go, and the pebble hit Goliath right between the eyes, and he fell down and he was dead. And David had defeated Goliath. David, the small shepherd boy, had defeated Goliath, the giant. And all the Israelites cheered, and all the Philistines ran, because God had won the battle in this story. And now I'm going to hand over to Miss Catherine in her home, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about what this story might mean to us.
Hi everyone, I am so excited to talk with you guys about the story of David and Goliath. And you may have already heard this story before, and it may not be something new to you. But one thing I wanted to share with you guys that stood out to me about the story as I went over it is that David was not much older than all of you guys. David was young, but he knew something so powerful and something so true, that God was so much bigger than his circumstances, that God was so much more powerful than Goliath, and he knew that God could use him in a mighty and powerful way. And I want to encourage you guys are no different than David. You are part of God's family, and that at any moment you can call upon God and ask him, how can I serve? How can I help? And that you have gifts and talents just like David that you can use to serve people and to help people. So I want to remind you guys, even if you feel small, even if things feel confusing and you don't know what's going on, whatever is going on in your life, just remember the truth is that our God is so much bigger, that he is so much more powerful, and that he wants to use you. And so I would love to encourage you guys to just talk about this with your family and take a moment to just see how you as a family and individuals can be used by God in this moment. All right, so after we talk about this story, we have a time in VKIDS where we call it our response time. So really what it is we take in what we've learned and what we're hearing from God and what we're sensing on maybe something that we can actually do next in response to the story and what we're learning. And so I want to give you guys an idea of something that you can do at home to continue this response and continue talking about this story and talking about how big God is and how we can be used by God. And so I found 2 mason jars. You don't have to use jars. There's lots of different things you can use. But I found 2 mason jars, and I put help on one of them and then chat on the other one. And so what these represent are 2 different ways you guys can be thinking about how you can serve and help your community and the people around you. And so help is an actual action of something that you can do. It could be something as simple as setting up a FaceTime with someone to encourage them, maybe writing a letter, making a meal and just leaving it on someone's doorstep, whatever it is, it's something that you can actually tangibly do. And then in VKIDS, we call prayer chat, and this is where we talk to God and we chat with God. It's times when we realize, okay, we may not be able to do something, but we can pray to God and we can talk to God about this, and that we know that God hears us and that he is powerful and answers our prayers. And so I would like to challenge you, set this up in your house, and maybe at the end of each day, people can during the day put different things and different ideas, and then at the end of the day, while you're having a meal, pull everything out and talk about ways that you can help, and then also ways that you can pray together. I hope this helps, and I hope this starts amazing conversations in your home. And if you have any stories or testimonies just while you do this, please feel free to share with us. You can email us at vkids@vintagechurchla.com, and we would love to hear from you guys and just be in conversation in what God's doing in your families. All right, see you later.
Okay, we're going to go into a time of worship now. So we're all going to worship together from wherever we are in our homes. Catherine and I are going to lead you in the actions to My Lighthouse. So it's time to get up, get moving, and we're going to worship God together. Just remembering the words to My Lighthouse, just being about how Jesus is our safety in the storms, and he will guide us safely to shore, even when things might seem a bit stormy in our lives, which is such a great thing to remember. Also, if over the week you want to record yourselves doing the actions to My Lighthouse and send it into us at our VKIDS@vintagechurchla.com email address, then we can add you guys all to our video and get us all worshipping together online, which would be amazing. So here we go, let's worship together.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. in the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore.
It has been so much fun meeting up with you like this morning. I hope that you've had a great time. Head to our website. So we've got a web page which is vintagechurch.com/VKIDS, which has loads more extra things that you can do this week. It's got craft ideas, ways to pray with your families this week, and there's just a lot more on there. So check that out, and also ask your parents to check their emails, because we've been sending them information about how we can all do a worship meetup online and do some worship online this week, and also just do some other fun online meetups with you guys, because we miss you, we want to see you, we want to know how you're getting on. So we look forward to that. So for now, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Hamilton, and we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.